Welcome to the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zonos. Now, you ever walk into the club and say to yourself, I need a free agent. I need to find me somebody. Well, I will tell you this. The NBA, every team out there who needs or lacks something on their team, they're going to make a move here this NBA trade deadline. It's February 23rd. That means at 3 p.m. Eastern, it's a wrap. You can't get anything else as far as the trade deadline goes. Now, if you want to make something happen during the draft, that's one thing. But today is the day. Time is ticking. Who needs a big move? The teams that I looked around and I saw, Celtics, they are one move away this year. What do I mean by that? They need one more superstar to add to that cast. They've already got Isaiah Thomas, Mr. Fourth Quarter. They made the move for Al Horford, which I think was okay, not as great as people thought. They drafted Jaylen Brown. They've got Jay Crowder. They've got Marcus Smart on defense. Avery Bradley's going to get healthy. He may be the piece they move. Who knows? Because of the injuries. But they are one move away from being an immediate contender for a championship. And maybe not as far as beating Golden State, but as far as the Eastern Conference goes, they are one move away from really being able to compete with the Cavs. Now, they talk about Jimmy Butler. I don't think Jimmy Butler's the answer. He's a nice defender. He scores a little bit, and yeah, he scores a lot. He's an all-star. But I think him coming to that team, he'll take something away from Isaiah Thomas, because in the fourth quarter, Jimmy Butler's used to carrying that torch in Chicago because it's been his team. That's why they got rid of Derrick Rose, because Jimmy Butler was the young up-and-comer. He emerged as a star talent, so they wanted to put the ball in his hands 24/7. You got Dwayne Wade there, but he's just an old man that likes to shoot threes. But Jimmy Butler, I think they need something different in Boston. He's a good addition, but for what they want to do in Boston, I think he could kind of mess up the flow of that offense. So I don't like that as a trade. Go out and find something else, Celtics. There's a lot more out there. Now, will Paul George chill in Indiana or nah? Now, the Lakers asked about him the other day. How about that? Magic Johnson, new president of the Lakers, glad he's finally there to bring that franchise out of the ashes like a phoenix. I'm sure he was on the phone with Larry Bird about how he could potentially bring the Lake Show back to prominence. He can attract the free agents and star talents. Now, by talking that talk with Larry Bird, who knows? Maybe they will get something done today and get Paul George in a Lakers uniform, and then you can build off of something like that. But who do you give away if you're the Lakers? If I'm the Lakers, Jose Calderon, Lou Williams. There's a lot of different options on the table, and I am trying to exercise those options. But Magic, he's shown that he knows how to run a business. Look at Starbucks. He's shown that he knows how to work a team. Look at the Dodgers. They were in the playoffs last year. Should have maybe made it to the World Series, but they could not get past, I want to say, the Giants. So I really, really, really like the fact that Magic is now calling the shots full-time for the Lakers. You get the Showtime man in there himself. Maybe he can make some magic sprinkle on top of this franchise because it's been in the dumps, it's been in the gutters, but he can clean out those gutters. Give the man time. Don't rush it. He needs 3 to 5 years just because he's Magic Johnson. So if it doesn't happen in 3, give him 5. He's earned 5, Magic Johnson has, for what he's done for that franchise. And I think the Lakers will be smart about it this time if they're even going to hire him in the first place. Cleveland and Houston, they're in the back of Waffle House chopping it up about Shump and Patrick Beverley. Oh, what do you guys want? Oh, let me get a smothered covered chunk. No. Bad trade, Houston. You do not give up a Patrick Beverley for an Iman Shumpert. It upgrades the defense in Cleveland, though. I mean, Cleveland, they would get the win out of this because Shump, he's had some injury issues. Pat Bev has too, but Shump's had the knees, and I think he cares too much about his appearance with the hair and all that. He's streaky. His threes didn't really go down in the finals like that last year against Golden State. He's a player that's good sometimes, worse sometimes. So I don't think Shump for Patrick Beverley would be the best trade if I'm Houston, because I've got Patrick Beverley. He's been there for quite some time. He's a hometown guy, which means he's played there a while. He's not from Houston, but he's a guy who that Houston community has come to love because he's tough. He plays defense, and his shot's gotten way better, and I think it's honestly better than Shumpert. So, I mean, if it's me, I don't know why you make this move if you're Houston with everything you've got working right now. You look like a great team. You got Decker, you got James Harden, you got Patrick Beverley, you've got Trevor Ariza. Everybody's playing in unison. So I don't think I break that up. There's sometimes that you don't need to just necessarily make a move just to make one, because if you do, you might break one. Break a team, break a championship. Who knows? So don't fracture that locker room by getting rid of Patrick Beverley, because I think he's an emotional, tough leader that you guys need in that locker room, Houston, especially with a guy like James Harden who needs people to compliment him. He doesn't have to play as much defense. Why? Because you got this guy, Patrick Beverley, who's going to lock up the best player, and you don't have to worry about your offensive talent being exhausted from playing extra amounts of defense on the best player on the other roster. You got Patrick Beverley. So don't do it. Do not do it, Houston. Don't do it. Zono's telling you, do not do it. Now, college hoops, they awesome, baby. Why are they awesome? Bargain for buzzer beaters last night. I watched my TV. Syracuse shot down Duke at the buzzer. John Gillen, the point guard, got paid last night. Now, why do I say that? I got highlights all night about this man crossing up Jason Tatum, stepping back for the three. Everybody, and then fast forward a couple minutes, well, not minutes, but fast forward a whole half to the second half of the game. He comes down, boom, three at the buzzer. Everybody's wild in Syracuse. John Gillen last night, he had a phenomenal game. I think he made millions last night. It only takes one game to put yourself on the map where pro scouts say he might be an NBA player. What do I call that for Syracuse? I call this the Malachi Richardson effect. Because Malachi Richardson, what did he do? He heated up late in the ACC tournament, and then he heated up in the NCAA tournament and got them deep as a freshman. And I said last year to the boys, I said, guys, this guy Malachi Richardson, I said this maybe in the ACC championship, I said, this kid right here, he is going to be an NBA lottery pick. I guarantee. They said, oh no, Zoe doesn't know that. But Zoe knew that Malachi Richardson, because of those performances, earned himself some money. So if you have those type of impactful performances on a grand stage in college basketball, you will get a shot at the next level. So congrats to you, John Gillen. You balled out last night. Get to the money, son. Now, Oregon Dylan Brooks at it again, man. Another buzzer beater against Cal from deep. 68-65. They win that game. Oregon, They just continue to win games. They were down 14 at halftime, I think, 30-16. Didn't look good. And then what do? Come back and beat Cal on the road with the three that's dramatic like that. No OT. So Oregon, you got to say that they're definitely a contender for the championship. If they're doing this nonstop, week in, week out, they continue to win. I like Oregon. They didn't look too great early in the year down in Maui, but Oregon has come a long way. Now, the top one seeds, Villanova, lost to Butler last night. That's twice they've lost to Butler this year. Butler's in no matter what now. They've got them as number one overall. I don't know how that'll look next week. They probably won't be up top. North Carolina beat Louisville. They're the number two one seed. And Kansas, they're ranked number 3 1 seed. And then Gonzaga coming in the number 4 1 seed. Now, people get mad about, well, actually, Kansas, they won their, 13th straight conference title last night. UNC, they did beat Louisville. And Gonzaga, they're a good team. You know, I give Gonzaga a lot of flack. I was on the couch last night telling the fellas, I said, I don't know why Gonzaga is ranked number 1 in the country. Why? And then they say, hey, man, they're undefeated. I mean, if you look at their non-conference schedule, it's all right this year. I said, show me the conference schedule. Show me. And what did I see? Oklahoma State. Not Oklahoma State. They beat Arizona on the road. They beat Florida on the road. They beat Tennessee. So, I mean, I honestly, I can't argue against this team. They've been playing great. Gonzaga, the Bulldogs, they've been doing their thing. Maybe they're not just this WCC team that I talked trash about earlier in the year. Maybe they really are a contender. Man, I might have been wrong. Zoe might not have knew that this Gonzaga team would be this good just because of the yearly, year in and year out history of this team being good all year, winning the WCC, then getting knocked out in the first or second or third. They don't even make it to the third round most times. Show me a Sweet 16 Gonzaga team. I mean, they never make it there. So I guess that's why I give them so much flack. But maybe this team's different. Who knows? We'll just have to see. March is right around the corner. February is short, so we can get right to March. So Looking forward to seeing what's up with the tournament. But in the meantime, the best story of the week, the most interesting story of the week, WNBA bullying memoirs. Now, people want to act like this is Diary of a Wimpy Kid or something, when in fact, I think it's a career professional that we need to listen to. Candace Wiggins, who played at Stanford, won National College Player of the Year, played 8 seasons in the WNBA. She came out to criticize a league-wide bullying culture. She said that 98% of the league is gay, and she's straight. So she felt like at times there was just a certain culture that really excluded her. She felt like players intentionally tried to injure her at times because of maybe her sexual orientation. That's how she felt. Everybody's experience in a business is different than everybody else's. So I think we have to really take a serious look and hear what she has to say. She came out and said that she wouldn't talk about her personal life. She mentioned that in her tell-all memoirs about her playing career and experience. So somebody's gotten in her ear and coached her up and said, hey, make some money off this thing if you're going to talk about it and expose it. Now, let's not sit here and act like this isn't majority versus minority. We all watch WNBA games, and we do see some rough, tough girls on the TV that are tatted up, dreadhead, and all we can do, it's not great to assume, it's never good to assume, but we can definitely say that they don't look as feminine, some of the WNBA players, as others do. And that's not to say that their sexual orientation is one way or the other, but it's just the image that we see. So we perceive that a large majority of the WNBA may in fact engage in homosexual behavior, which is totally okay. They have their own prerogative. Anybody does. Now, in that locker room, wouldn't you say that the majority versus the minority would be the same as a heterosexual locker room against a homosexual individual? Now, when I say that, let's compare this to Michael Sam. Michael Sam is no longer in the NFL, and he came out openly and let us know that he was gay, in fact, and we even saw the kiss on TV during the draft and everything like that. He's not in the NFL. They gave him a shot, but don't you think that the climate would have been a little bit different had he stayed in the league? How do you think people would really be in the locker room towards Michael Sam? Because, that's a league that's dominated by heterosexual males. So don't you think that stuff would have happened potentially as far as bullying goes on the playing field, things that are said, things that are done to maybe hurt Michael Sam because he was not heterosexual, if in fact it got that far? We don't know. So we have to really take a close look at this and say, maybe she has some truth to what she's saying. Because if she is in fact straight, I'd say if they took a poll, then maybe a majority of the NBA would be homosexual, but we haven't done any research to say that. To say 98%, that's a bit extreme. But stars like Brittany Griner, Simone Augustus, and even notably legendary Cheryl Swoops have all come out and openly been homosexual. They've let us know about that. They all are NBA stars. So when you see most of the stars are living a certain lifestyle, all we can do is perceive what we see through that specific lens and what we're given at face value. Now, the WNBA denies allegations. They've limited comments for now. They have allowed a culture to exist. We can't deny that. And when I say that, you look at Pokey Chapman, head coach of the Indiana Fever. Now, Pokey Chapman was a longtime LSU coach, but there were rumors that she was having an inappropriate relationship with a former player of hers while she was on the staff. So who was that former player? Well, it's been said that was Simone Augustus. Now, don't quote me on that. Could have been another girl, but it's been said that she was dealing with a former player when she was at LSU. Now, obviously, Johnson, last name Johnson, I want to say Glory Johnson. She was married to Brittany Griner, or they were dating, something along those lines. They got into a domestic altercation. Why does the WNBA even allow their employees to date each other in that type of field? Do NBA players date each other? Do football players in the NFL openly date each other? That's not acceptable. It's not allowed. Why is there not a rule against, if you play for the WNBA, you're not allowed to have a romantic relationship with anyone directly in the league or anything like that? You can't do that. So why not make a rule about that? But, to each his own. This is just going to be an interesting story to hear more about. I think Candace Wiggins will have interesting things to say. I want to hear her personal experiences because, this would be great to get that firsthand talk from the other side of the WNBA because we say it's so great. But, to say that, people don't care about the WNBA. I care about the WNBA because I want to see girls like Candace Parker do their thing. I was a big Vols fan back in the day when she was coming up, so I care about it, but I care about things like this as well, and this is juicy, juicy info. So Candace Wiggins, we are waiting on it. Just make us wait on it. Next show, we will chop it up as always and wrap up the weekend. College basketball coming around the corner to the end. A lot of trades going to go down today. I will definitely update everybody, give you my opinions on it. But thank you for watching the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zonos.